Brian from Brian's Gym here, doing my third video, and just wanted to point out a couple of quick observational things. One is, I know I said I was going to try to do these videos and make them about 10 minutes long. 10 to 15 minutes is probably more accurate. I'll get more efficient as I get better at speaking. The other thing is, people probably notice that I'm doing these in my car and might ask, well, you know, you're doing videos on the gym or fitness or whatever related topic. Why aren't you doing these in the gym? And to be quite frank, it's just a level of comfort. Our commute from home to gym is about 20-25 minutes, and so it makes it a nice, easy way to do these videos. I feel comfortable. At a certain point, I'll probably do some in the gym at my desk using a little whiteboard, whether it's to talk about how to make up a workout maybe, or how to log, things of that nature. So, first video we talked about gym intimidation and how to try to change the mindset for anyone looking to get involved in the gym. Second video, I talked on personal training, why I felt it was misunderstood, and how to utilize it efficiently. The third video I want to hit on is still related to people that are trying to make a choice or decide an avenue when it comes to starting some type of fitness behavior. And the two areas that I kind of want to hit are home workout coaches and online coaches. Now, before I get a bunch of zealots, that's a joke by the way, i.e. people who have gotten benefits off these, you know, flooding and saying that I'm ragging on them, or, you know, you don't know what you're talking about, I've gotten results. I want to stop you there, because I'm not. Home workout groups, coaches, and online coaches can actually be a very good tool. They can be a great tool for anybody who's never done anything, for somebody who is looking at economical and privacy, may not have the confidence to go into a gym. And so what I want to do is just break down the pros and cons, and also some of the red flags when it pertains to certain individuals or groups that may be taking advantage of people. So, you know, the pros to either online or home workout coaches is the fact that the internet has made it so easily obtainable to connect with somebody who provides these services. And with the popularity of the internet, as with anything, the ease of access and to be able to produce also leads to an increase in lower quality and greed. And we'll touch on that, you know, in a little bit. But let's start with some of the positives, you know, with a home workout coach. So a lot of these, you know, advertise 30 minutes or less. You know, they'll have somebody who's doing live workouts, or possibly recorded, or even a mix of live workouts that then, you know, people can do or participate in anytime they want, because they're recorded as well. Maybe a library of workouts, and there's oftentimes some type of nutrition component, whether it be a grocery shopping list, a template, or even an example of what maybe the coach does. And, you know, these provide a lot of benefits for somebody who's never done anything before. obviously, as stated in the description, you're doing these workouts at home. And, that provides for efficient. You don't have to drive, especially if you are a parent with kids that maybe, gym time, daycare doesn't provide the times that you need. It also is financially cost effective, typically ranging from, $20 to $30 a month. You can do it as many times as you want, based on either the workouts that are being provided or the recording or library aspect. And of course, you've got the privacy factor, which for some is, a big component, as they're not ready to delve into the public light of a fitness facility. So, right off the bat, there can be some great aspects of these. And, on the online coach side, people connect with somebody that they feel they have either seen and feel like that person is producing good results with other clients, maybe the way, that person looks. There could be some aspects of they've gotten involved with the gym. Maybe they still misunderstand, how economical a personal trainer can be, and so they've decided to go with an online coach. This provides some one-on-one accountability. So, a lot of the correspondence is done through email. There might be some pictures that the coach asks for, and various nutritional diets or workouts that are provided. And again, it's cost efficient. The person can kind of, especially on the online side these days, can typically find a price range they feel comfortable with. So, those are some of the positive things. Some of the areas that can be some red flags with both. As I said, with the popularity and rise of the internet, it becomes very easy to reach a lot of people. And I think the first thing that customers need to think about is the fact that when you have an online coach or a home fitness workout, these people are going for volume, and it's different in a way that a personal training studio or a gym is, because there's really unlimited reach. And because of that, there can be less accountability, because if you lose a number of people, 30 people, 50 people, maybe even 100 people, it's not going to typically happen all at once, but you can easily increase your reach, increase your target area, maybe where you've broken into a new area, you've got some clients, and you can replace them pretty easy. There's not going to be a whole lot of backlash, because it's a numbers game. And I think one of the areas that I don't think it's as much with the home workout coaches, and the thing of it is, there's a lot of people that are getting involved in both. They run online coaching and home workout type groups and coaching. And these people are going for volume. They're going, it's 20 to $30 a month, and they're shooting for hundreds, if not thousands of people. And so the first red flag, when I see some of that stuff, is if there's any kind of advertising towards one-on-one attention. Come train with me, let me help you, let me guide you, work with me. And the first thing that I want to say about any good coach is that I believe they know their limitations and their maximum capacity at which they can handle a client load and still provide the quality that they are advertising or that is really needed. And if you have somebody that's just volume, and there's no cap, that's kind of a red flag right off the bat, because there is no way that somebody is going to help thousands of people. And again, it's based on what's advertised. I have seen instances where, well, let me back up, because I'm going to call this out. People are going to go, oh, years ago, it became well known that popular fitness, quote unquote, influencers and even bodybuilders were hiring a full-on company that was doing all the diets and all the workouts for the clients. The clients never knew because it was all email based. And it's kind of funny, everybody questions the Zimbabwe email offering you $1 million, and they don't realize that can be scaled to anything. And so what I'm about to say, it's not like this is a first time thing, but you get a coach that's offering help thousands of people on a mass level, and if they're offering one-on-one attention, I've seen where they hire somebody to help them with their nutritional components or workouts, or transformations, whatever. And it's not a big deal if up front it's stated, hey, come work with me and my team. But in numerous cases, that's never stated. It's either allowed to be thought that, these clients are working with the person, or, these clients find out kind of, on the whim that, hey, I'm so-and-so and I'm going to be working with you, which, it puts the client kind of in a bad position, but it puts that other person in a bad position, because now the client has, they had an expectation that's not being met. And so, that's just something that I think people need to be aware of, and, take into consideration if they're being advertised as getting one-on-one attention. On some of the home workout coach groups, I think they're, and a lot of the home workout coach, these have flared up, and most of the time it's the same thing, in the sense that somebody was a part of a home group, they got to a level that they felt maybe they were confident enough or didn't like some things, so they break off, they change the time of the workout, they add their own flavor, and you'll typically get X amount of people from whatever group that kind of run over to this one, and then somebody does the same thing, they run over to the other one, and it's kind of a repetitious cycle. And so this varies. There's some quality groups out there, there's some less quality groups, but some of the red flags that I think people need to be aware of is in the advertising. In the bodybuilding world, you would see people that train for 10 plus years, and all of a sudden they're advertising for the Bowflex or the newest rubber band system, or whatever case. And everybody that knew of that person knows that they built their base off resistance training. It wasn't from whatever they're advertising for. And so I think there needs to be disclaimers for anybody who starts any of these things that built their base in the gym. And I've heard of people that purposefully stopped going to the gym because they wanted everybody to think that the results that they had gotten were from the home workouts. I've heard of people who had a home gym and really didn't disclose that. So they're doing their home workouts for the show, and behind the scenes, they're still hitting heavier weights, progressive overload, and everything like that. I've even heard of people who were doing home workouts, and because, they were advertising to such a wide range of area, they never had to worry about running into people, and so they were going to the gym still. And that was never disclosed. And, I don't think it's a big deal, really. hey, I work out. I've been doing this for X amount of years. Part of what I do is resistance strength training, in a home gym or a gym. But I want to advertise and provide something for people that, that maybe don't have access or can't do that. It'd be really easy to just kind of address and get it out of the way. But there's kind of this don't ask, don't tell, plausible deniability, I think, that comes into play. And, it just is one of those factors that I think people need to be aware of. And, there's been these debates on what level of change you can make with a home workout and possible nutritional template suggestion versus going to the gym and actually having nutrition guidance from a coach. And here's the thing. The general rule of thumb is that to build muscle, you have to be in a caloric surplus, and you have to continue to increase your progressive overload to a degree in different manners. To lose body fat, you have to be in a caloric deficit. Now, that rule is kind of, I don't want to say out the window, but it can be a little different when somebody who's sedentary starts any activity and nutritional change. There is that possibility for a brief moment that somebody can put on muscle and lose body fat. And it's some of the best results, regardless of where you start, that you're going to get, because it's a shock to your body. Your muscle fibers are responding, from new stimulation, and your metabolism's getting an upkick. But at a certain point, if you want to go beyond, just losing weight and build or sculpt muscle beyond that point, you've got to do a new form of training. And again, that's not a big deal. If you're somebody who's been doing home workouts and you're happy with where you're at, and you are fine with staying, where you're at, you like how you look, you like how you feel, great, stick with it. You found something that works for you, stick with it. But if you go into a home workout and at a certain point, you're leveling off and you feel like you're not getting the same results that you were before, and you're kind of plateauing, it might be time to explore some different options, and getting into a gym with either a personal trainer, hiring an online coach can be a great kind of can be a great moving on to the next level. It's like you've got your white belt in fitness, and now you're going to move on to your next rank. The other areas that I think need to be addressed are some of the nutritional aspects and what people are getting told if they're not getting the results. Again, these are mass production products, and at 20 or 30 bucks a month, I know I wouldn't spend hours helping somebody. But where it kind of gets questionable is you may have somebody that on the nutritional side has a lot of weight to lose, and they join the group and they see all these people that maybe only have 15, 20 pounds, a little bit more, a little bit less, that they need to lose. And, they're getting the results. And this person can't figure out why they aren't. And statistically, if you put anybody on a low-calorie diet, they should lose weight. Except for the fact that it's been shown that when put on a low-calorie diet, calorie tracking and adherence typically goes out the window. You know, and for some people that are maybe starting at a point where they're a little bit heavier, you know, they might not be able to just drop down to a low calorie nutritional plan. They might need to transition down. And so, you know, it can be frustrating when you're seeing all these people getting those results. You feel like you're not getting the results, and you also don't want to feel like you're the odd one out. You know, it's working for everybody else. Why isn't it working for me? And, you know, the truth of the matter is you will get out of anything what you put into it. And that's oftentimes said, you know, by a variety of coaches, trainers, etc. But, you know, I think I heard an example one time of somebody who wasn't getting the results from a home workout. And, you know, they were doing their 30-minute or whatever it was. They weren't getting the results. They hit the coach up, and the coach told them basically they needed to do it twice a day. And, you know, the thing of it is, that's about the laziest thing that you could tell somebody. You know, that's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You know, the chances are that this individual was either not doing the workouts enough, not doing the workouts intensely enough, wasn't within the caloric limitations that they needed to be. And, you know, it might have been a good point for that coach to say, hey, you know what? I think there's some issues here. You might need a little bit more attention than what I can give you. You know, I'd suggest maybe getting with a online coach who specializes in one-on-one, or going to a gym and getting a trainer. But instead it was just do your workout twice a day. And, you know, that's the stuff that can be frustrating. And the things that can be frustrating as well with both online coaches and home groups is, you know, you've got these groups and these members, and a lot of them have seen great success in what they've done, but it can turn into this collective mentality that can be almost zealot-like, to where if somebody questions anything, you know, the group provides cover for the coach. The coach doesn't have to do anything because the group will literally tear this person apart. And, you know, there's half-truths to everything. Well, you're not doing this right. You know, it works for everybody else. You know, if you were putting the effort in that everybody else is, you know, you'd see the same results. And that's not necessarily untrue, but, you know, mob mentality, even in truth, is not always the best avenue to correct behavior. So, you know, again, some things to consider and observe whenever you join a home workout group. I'm at the gym right now, so this is obviously going longer than what, you know, I'd originally intended, but I'm covering, you know, I'm trying to cover this kind of in detail. So let's get into, you know, the second, a little bit more detailed into the online coaches. And I'd like to start with the fact of where, you know, the history of all this started. You know, back in the day, you know, you had these fitness boards, bodybuilding boards. People would join. Some people were competing, others were not. People would, you know, share their pictures. They would share different workouts, nutritional advice, you know, things of that nature. And, you know, you had coaches that started to garnish a reputation for their ability to work with people and get people to a certain level of condition or fitness or size or whatever. And, you know, the thing of it is, back then is 99% of the online coaches these days would be laughed out of these groups. You know, these groups, everybody knew or had a good base level of knowledge. And if you were any type of coach that came on and tried to use a cookie cutter approach, you know, you'd get called out quick. And what I mean by cookie cutter approach is basically you might hire somebody and, you know, learn a diet or learn somebody else's methodology, and you're just putting everybody on that same diet. or even in general, you're starting everybody off on the exact same nutritional advice. Now, that doesn't mean that a good coach doesn't have kind of a base level that they may start people on. The calories and the macros may be a little bit different, but you've got to see how somebody's body's going to respond. And here comes social media, and it wasn't long before you started seeing people hire a coach, do a contest, and before the contest was even done, they were offering coaching advice. And it's just laughable, because again, people knew they didn't have the knowledge. They paid their coach $200 a month, and they thought, well, I can do it for $75, and if I can get X amount of people, look how much money I'll be making. And it just started a domino effect, of piss poor coaches. And here we are today, and not many people know what to look for, or how to look for a good coach. In fact, I know there's a popular nutritional coach who's a great coach, who's exposing a lot of people, for photoshopping their photos. A lot of these people don't need to, whether it comes down to their self-confidence is just that poor, or they're just that greedy, because again, it's about volume. And so you need to do your due diligence when finding a coach. You need to talk to people and watch and check out, and really observe. And along those lines, I'd like to give a shout out to Evan Snorgrass out of Tipton from Adrenaline Fitness. He's one that I send people to all the time, and it's primarily because I don't want to take on the detail, the time that it takes to put into. I know that I don't have that passion anymore. It doesn't mean that I don't like to help people. I spent an hour and a half, I think, a week ago talking to a young guy about putting workouts together. I think he's been in the gym for a year. I love helping people, but I'm in a position to where I can do that and not limit myself or set myself as a quote-unquote coach. When I did contest prep, I was charging $600 to $1,200 for the last few weeks. And any good coach will tell you they're involved with their client. I'm texting constantly. I'm wanting to know how the person looks, how the person feels. I want pictures. And I think that's the big thing that a lot of people have missed out. You're not paying for the diet or the workout. You're paying for the experience and the ability that coach has of knowing how to make and when to make changes to get you where you want to be. Yes, there is a good portion of science and experience that goes behind being a good coach, but really, it's that critical thinking, and being able to know the changes that need to be made and when they need to be made. And there's a lot of people that don't understand that aspect. They just think it's about throwing somebody on a low-calorie diet, throwing them on cardio, and having them, lift weights. And again, for the general public who's never done anything, that might be effective to start out. But as you get to a certain point and you want to build more, you got to have a coach that's involved in what you're doing. So this video obviously went longer than 10 to 15 minutes. I kind of had an idea that it would. I'm actually pulled up to the gym now, getting ready to work out. I hope this helps. I don't want anybody to think this is a bias. I'm trying to work my way from the outside of the gym into the gym, and that's kind of why I'm addressing some of these things. I want to do a video on how to pick a personal trainer, what to look for, red flags, what we look for in trainers, so it's not just about, hitting these other avenues. I'm gonna hit stuff that is definitely contained within a fitness facility, and addresses things that are gym related. But I thought this would just be a good start because of how much the internet and social media has been able to draw people in, and with not having anything to compare to, people they're not gullible, they don't know. And this can provide a little bit of if I can provide a little bit of critical thinking for people, and things to watch out for, and it helps them. Or maybe they've been working with one of these two and they're happy, but maybe decide that it's time to move on. And I don't know that a online coach or a home workout person has the ethics, to be able to say, hey, what I'm doing, you've kind of surpassed, congratulations. I think it's time for you to move on to something else. So again, we'd love to see you at Brian's gym. We'd love to help you out. If you have questions, you can message me on Facebook at the Brian's Gym page, my personal page. We've got 3-day trials going on all the time. You can apply for one online. You can come in during our staffed hours, which are listed on our website, and somebody can show you around. You can get a 3-day trial and check us out. And yeah, so we're going to stop there, and I'm going to go in and get a workout, and hopefully this helps some people, and we'll see you soon.